Hello, everybody. We're going live for Tuesday Talks, and today we have a beautiful soul called Roxana Popet, and we're gonna be having a wonderful conversation with Roxana. She is a speaker and an NLP trainer as well, entrepreneur, and also a creator of Step on Your Fears. She's created that step, and she also have the 7-step guide for it. And she what she does say is that you deserve to live a fear-free life, and she can make it happen for you, right? But we still pass the mic over to you to do your introduction for the audience which have joined it today. You're the best person to describe who you are. We will add a little question to it. So when you do your introduction, just also explain why are you doing what you are doing as well.
Thank you, Zishan. You are so kind. Well, I don't like to talk too much about me because I usually want to show what I do. In a few words, I think that we all deserve a fear-free life, and I make it happen. It's very important to train our mind each and every single day. All of the titles that we have are irrelevant because fear catches us all. It happens in an instant. And I have had huge struggles with fear myself, a lot of anxiety and panic attacks through the years. And I have decided that if I managed to conquer it all, why not help the world have a different perspective on fear? I see fear now as a great friend, as an amazing way to be guided by it, because when you are afraid of something, it means that you need to go towards that thing that you are afraid of. And long story short, here's to a fear-free life.
Wow. So that is quite interesting as well, that you've chosen that fear-free life. And is that something we can ask in terms of what triggered that for you? Because where did that passion come from for you to help others live fear-free? Where did that passion come from? What's driving it?
This is such a good question. Well, it happened around 4 years ago when I was in a huge mental pain because I couldn't leave my job. And I love your quote. You use, I help you fire your boss. And this is such a great combination of your wisdom combined with mine because I used to be so afraid, Zishan, to even dream of doing something else, although I was completely afraid to leave my job. I hated doing what I was doing. People were amazing. The culture of the company was okay. However, doing every single thing, every single day, nothing new to learn, nothing new to do. I felt like a complete monkey. This is exactly how I felt every single day until I felt sick to my stomach. And I actually pushed myself to do a bit more. No, Roxana, you can handle it. Just try a bit more until I couldn't. And I want to avoid having the other people around me to feel this. That's why I'm specialized in fear in business. I work with groups and individuals and companies to help them take the best decisions before it's too late because I don't want them to end up like me. I had a heart disease. Can you imagine that? I had all sorts of complications because I was so afraid and so frustrated because I couldn't find a way out. Although, Zishan, you also know, our rational mind knows it all. But when you get to actually do the thing, that you are afraid of, I was blocked. I was stuck. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see more than my problems. So I'm here to make sure that no one else is going through this ever again.
Wow, wow, what an amazing journey. So, it's amazing to hear that, you know, all of us who are doing these things for others now, it is our experience that we've went through personally, right? For yourself, being blocked and feeling, and I'm sure there's stress and anxiety and all those things which didn't exist coming into the factor of you being you feeling stuck basically, right? And then that fear takes over, that you are not able to do anything. You and it's that comes from the exhaustion and the burnout of the workforce that has, right? So I always say to everybody, right? So why this is it's a system designed that way anyway, to make you feel that, and that's what it is. A lot of people are able to cope with that and they just get through the day, right? Nothing different for them because they don't know any better, or if they had any ambitions or passion or anything, that kind of dies out on a younger time, when when they're just transitioning from teenage to adulthood or some sort, and they've given into the society and everything that was being pushed into them, right? And that's what happened. But people like us who are more entrepreneurial, free spirits, we want to do things, we want to enjoy the world, create things, enjoy, even enjoy the cities, their architectures and all that stuff, right? We want to enjoy it,
Yeah.
right? So we want to do all that stuff, even though the society tries to break you, but we try to break free from it. And yeah, we do succeed, and hence we are here now to share those experiences and help others now to do it. And hence I then say to everybody, right, I help you fire your boss. And the reason was, I'll say same spectrum that you are in, but a little bit on the opposite side. I was never afraid to take chances, whatever comes. I was, I will say, bound to some responsibilities that came with me having a family now. So those responsibilities were the only thing tying me down, right? So they were just pulling me down every time. So, oh yeah, I want to do this, but that's going to affect X, Y, Z. So I cannot do this. So this is the only thing that I was in the loop of every time, that, I want to do this, but I'm not getting any younger. So I want to do some things before I become certain age. So what I decided to do myself was give myself deadlines, because I came from a corporate world in London. So I'm used to deadlines. I'm used to projections. We'll project everything. We'll then achieve them on that deadline and everything. So I was used to creating systems that should work, right? If not, the system would be able to be maneuvered or pivoted to whatever was happening, right? So you will adjust to what's happening, and it's a bit more agile system, so you are able to adapt. So adaptability was natural to me to begin with. But then what happened with the pandemic, this is where my personal growth just skyrocketed, right? And this is when I decided to, fire my boss myself. I'm like, yeah, okay, I am just doing it now, because a lot of time was cut away from me and I had lots of time to now improve myself. Because once I was in their system makes you sure that you have time for nothing else apart from what you need to do from that Monday to Friday, if you don't do weekends, or you look forward to your day off. When you are so tired, you don't do anything anyway. You still stay at home and you're just like sleeping or
Exactly.
sitting on your sofa and all stuff. You're not doing anything. And the days you do want to do something, you just feel like, no, I'm going back to work the next day. It's restart again. You're getting ready. So that loop you are in, right? So if you speak to somebody who's in work, nothing wrong with it. It's great. You need to work because you need to get that social skills, same as we have to go through school to get those social skills and learning. I mean, school and colleges and everything, from my perspective, do not actually teach you any life lessons that you actually need to use. But it's good to go and have fun and interact, that you do learn social skills over there, how to handle people, right? Because you need that. But if you're learning real life lessons, you need to learn a lot more, financial literacy. You need to learn a lot more things than how to work out when was calculus invented. you never need that after once you've learned in that school. So a lot of stuff you never use after, is good to know, but they never actually teach you how to manage your bank, right? Because when you
Exactly.
finish your studies, a door opens and you're like, hey, go and get a job. Why do I need to get a job? Well, you're gonna start paying bills. Really? I need to start paying bills? What's that? Right? So, and a lot of things are a shock for a lot of people when the real world door opens, right? And this is where I help everybody, in terms of let's sit down. We all have ambitions. We were born with these ambitions. We were born with a purpose. We were born to do certain things. Because as you see yourself when you're born as a baby, you've already been achieving so many things, and you're heading that direction. But what happens throughout the way is then society tells you what's wrong, what's right. Oh, you cannot do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. And you get stopped. And then you start thinking, because now you are able to think and speak. And you're like, okay, I should maybe not do this. Okay, maybe that, maybe this. And you start doing what the society is saying. But then in deep down, you know that, no, I need to do more. Or there's more to life. For me, it was always there's more to life. There is more to life that I should be doing, right? This not this routine. And it was a case of just taking that decision. And I decided to take that decision, even though I had planned to fire my boss in 2022. I was already on that route
Wow.
to fire my boss in 2022. But the pandemic just skyrocketed it and gave me a lot of time to do this. And this is where I can say, okay, if you do a blueprint of your life with me, so I can help you design. So I say, live life by design. So you are living your life by design. So design your life, because a lot of people spend hours and hours planning holidays, hours and hours, sometimes months even to plan holidays, right? Or what restaurant they're gonna go to as well. They're gonna spend hours searching for restaurants and things like that, or where they're gonna go
Exactly.
for the weekend, right? They're gonna spend a weekend to plan the next weekend, right? But they cannot spend just 2 hours to sit down and look at what they want to achieve their life just next month or next week, right? So this is where I come in and sit down with them and plan their blueprint for their life, pretty much. And we say, okay, this is a plan. It's not going to hit that 100%, because life is life, right? So there might be some speed bumps, there might be some roundabouts, there might be some turnings. We are not able to see those turnings at the moment, but you will see them when you are nearer, and we will pivot. We have room for that. And then you take that journey to fire your boss. Your boss is at the end of that journey, and we will fire that boss. You create so many streams that are coming to you, so that you are able to then leave easily, because you need to substitute something from somewhere so that you are able to leave. So it's two questions I ask everybody is, what are you willing to lose if you want to fire your boss? If you're not willing to lose, how many hours of your personal life you're able to devote yourself to
Wow.
do that? It's the
Hmm.
same, because I know people, when the summer is coming, I know, not being gender here Pacific, but I know people who start working out because summer's coming. They need that summer body, right? And they're exercising hard and everything. And I'm like, well, it's the same goes for your life, where do you want to be at the end, right?
Exactly.
And decide
Exactly.
that.
Wonderful. Wow, Zishan, you have quite a mission yourself. I loved hearing you talk about this. I loved so many of the things you said. And indeed, you need to put in the work so that the blueprint that you create works for you. Wonderful. And what would you say that fear has to do with all of these amazing things that you are teaching your clients?
So for my point on fear is something that is unknown to you, right? And that's how I see fear every time. For me, I grew up an introvert anyway, so I'm still an introvert on the fence. So I'm always in the middle of extrovert and introvert. But if the room is louder, I am a louder person. If the room is quiet, I am very quiet anyway. If I'm alone, I'm a quiet person, right? So I don't know whether extrovert people, they are the energy which are out there, right? And introvert is always calmer in the. So with my personality, I am a calmer, laid back personality, but I can switch into being the loud person in the room straight away as well. So fear for me comes from there anyway, because growing up very shy and quiet, the fears were in me that, oh, I don't know if that person's going to like, oh, I don't know if that person can hear me. Because I used to speak very softly. A lot of people used to say, what you're saying, I didn't hear that. And, you know, and that used to get me as well. I'm like, oh no. And there was something that I then hated repeating myself. I'm like, why am I not able to communicate properly? Right. And it was nothing there. It was just fear. Right. And fear of the other person. And it's something then I had to take charge. And it's a case of recognizing that fear. So what I think is to recognize that fear is. What is that stopping you? Right. For myself, I mean, I taught myself guitar and everything. So being a quiet and shy person, now you need to go on stage and perform with the band, right? It's totally opposite to what I'm doing, right? So, but then once you see me on stage, I have a different personality. I'm jumping around, throwing my guitar in the air and all the stuff. I am
Wow.
doing my thing. And as soon as I come off the guitar, I'm in the corner having my drink, quietly sitting down. And if you were in the audience, you will like, is that the same person? He was like opposite, you know, full of energy. And what it was, because I accepted that fear and I used its energy to magnify what I wanted to do, right? So I always said, if I just do it, and I will see what happens with it. You can't do anything wrong. If it goes wrong, well, you learn from it. Now you know you don't do that next time. Just do something else. You adapt. So I'm always a person who will do it and see it, what will happen, you know. But I always have a plan at the back, because I love projection. So I always have a pros and con, but I will favor the pro more, even though I know the cons are there. So I'll be just aware of the con, but I will favor the pros more. And that's where the fear goes away for me anyway. That's how I see it. What is that correct interpretation for myself? What do you think?
Wow, I am loving your flexibility of behavior. I think this flexibility that you are having, like a chameleon, you know, is what got you to be successful in time. Because indeed, I can see you've worked so much on yourself. Getting to this level of thinking, unfortunately, doesn't happen overnight. So I can tell that you have been studying this a lot, and I'm very proud of you for conquering some really strong fears. Because indeed, fear of failure, wow, this is one of the biggest of them all. But you, as you said, you learned from it. And obviously, if you put a plan in place, you'll do it so much better and different next time. I love this. And you know, I would love to hear you explain this blueprint some more, because you said you're using some great questions that you're asking your clients.
Yeah, I mean, so the blueprint, and thank you very much for all the kind words as well. Thank you. I mean, a lot of these things, I just do it because I always feel like there's more for me to do it, right? So the only way I can do more is I need to take that step and do it, right? So, because I always look at these Olympians who are, you know, taking part in Olympic, which happens every 4 or 5 years, but they train for all that time and compete locally
Yeah.
just to take part in the Olympics, right? Why do they have to do all that? But because that's their ultimate goal. That's their life at the end. That's where they want, right? And they're doing all this workout, all this whatever sports they're in, practice and local games and everything to compete and represent their country. And all the Olympians, when you see them in that Olympic stadium, they all have the same goal, and they're all best of the best, right? Now, there still can only be one gold medalist and one silver medalist and one bronze medalist, right? Out of all those champions. Now none of them have any lesser goals than the other. None of them have any less practice than the other. What it is, who is more determined and is accepting their fear and still going and conquering what is at the front. That's what the difference is. And that's why the prizes, the medals are given out to, all right, here's gold medal for you, because you're shown your sportsmanship and you've conquered it. So the blueprint for myself works along those lines of, okay, how much of you wanted to cover that. So you will be looked into when, let's say, because I do business and mindset coach. So a lot of clients that I get are business. They would be trying to launch, let's say, they wanted to launch a course, or they want to launch their coaching business or some sort of business, right? The first thing I always ask is, so why do you want to do this? So we ask the why question. And a lot of people just go, oh, because this course will do this course will do that, and this course is going to cost that much. Then I'm like, again, we keep asking that why question until we get a answer from the heart, right? So that it is what it is. You're doing it because you are serving others, and not just, oh yeah, I can create a course. Everybody can create a course. We are all teachers in one way or another. We are all able to teach something, but we're all able to create. But is that why that course? We need to know that why that is there. Why are you starting a business to begin with anyway? Why do you need to do that business, right? And then it comes to, again, why do you want to fire your boss, right? If you're now saying to me, I want to fire my boss because I had enough of this 9 to 5, okay, that's a valid thing. But at the moment, you might be just exhausted. Would you say the same thing tomorrow when you're refreshed after 2 days, right? Would you say the same thing when you go away for a 1 week holiday and you refresh and you come back? Would you say the same thing? Have you had enough? At the moment, you're saying that because you're exhausted. So we explore that option first. We knit it down to what is your actual why, so that you're connected to it and it's pure to you. After that, we move on to thinking of money side of things, right? And if they are looking into it, no, I want to now make lots of money doing this, then again, question comes with why you want to do this in terms of money. So we've got these 4 steps that we follow, and on that 4 steps, we hone into your whys of those 4 steps. This now changes person to person, but those 4 steps will be looking into a lot of whys, into bringing you to think about it before you switch. Because entrepreneurial life, as you and I know, is not for everybody. It's very fancy, it's great, but it's very lonely as well at sometimes, right? There's lots of lows, and then there's lots of highs. So the entrepreneurial life is, you need to enjoy the lows more than you're going to enjoy the highs. When you are up in the high, you need to start planning for the next low that will come. A lot of people, so I help them switch from their employee mindset to entrepreneurial mindset as well. So in terms of an employee, they think, you just turn up to work, you do your task, you go home, you get paid. Becoming an entrepreneur, that's not the case now. You are your business, right? You need to create the system that will work for you. You need to create everything that will work for you. Before, you were just a part of someone's system that someone had created that was working for that person, right? So that person created that system and you were playing your part for that person. Now you need to create a system that works for you. Maybe you will make a team later once you grow, maybe not, but we will have that plan and see how that fits in and grow you with it. Because a lot of people, even though they start or they want to become an entrepreneur or start a business or do things, they do it for the wrong reasons. And then they stop after 6 months, 1 year, because it becomes harder, because they didn't plan correctly. They didn't look at the systems that needed to be created. Marketing got stuck because now they have to do marketing, right? And they have to do promotions. They have to do these. A lot of stuff they weren't doing before because they were just standing up to a desk and doing their task and then going home. So we have to change that mindset as well. So there's 4 things that I look at, but then a lot more in depth. So I don't take a lot of clients every time because of just this reason. I take the clients which are actually really, really willing to switch their life, not just because they're exhausted today and then they're saying, yeah, I would love some different life. I would love a laptop life. I live in Bali and I'll do this. Okay, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, you can do it. Are you ready to do this, this, and this? And this is where the ball drops for everybody.
Yeah. I love it. As you said, you have this why question over and over again, because indeed, it may look nice and sometimes it does look overnight, right? We all know that social media gets us thinking, oh my God, I am behind. Look at this guy, look at this girl. They are so far ahead. But indeed, there is a lot of questioning that you need to ask yourself if you want to go through this path because I really do believe, as you said, all of us have entrepreneurial skills. We all have some dreams that we can put in practice, right? But are we willing to do that extra step, that extra mile, maybe that 2 millimeter change in direction that after 10 meters gets you seeing a different perspective? Love it. Wow. That's inspirational and very powerful. And your blueprint seems pretty easy to put in practice, which a lot of us need because
And
we are
I
not the
love
most patient.
I love what you just said there. You know, it looks pretty well. It sounds pretty easy to put in place, which it is, right? And a lot of easy things are a bit difficult to follow. You know, and
Yeah.
that's where I became focused on the mindset, right? So when I say I'm a business and a mindset coach, business takes care of itself anyway, as long as you have the right mindset. And this is where then my support comes in for the mindset side of things. Business will happen anyway. We are on track, but the mindset, yeah, is the ability now to follow the blueprint. Is where, you know, it's like taking that gym membership. Everybody has a membership in the gym, but how many times they actually go to the gym with discipline,
Yeah.
right? So and to achieve those goals. So this is where then I am kind of an accountability person. Whereas, okay, we said we're going to do this and this and this. We're going to meet that day now, and we will update ourselves what's happening, right? And then that's there. I mean, I do have a group of inner circle people who've achieved stuff, and then they are also part of my team to help the new people who wanted to go up, because then they can see. And it's funny that you mentioned as well the overnight successes that everybody looks at, right? Um, Everybody sees that overnight success, but they don't see the millions of overnight
Oh, yeah.
before that one overnight success, right? And that I would love
Yeah.
to add on to this. It's actually an amazing thing. This month of May is when I actually started this Tuesday Talks last year. So it's pretty much 1 year
Wow.
that I'm going through.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I should celebrate it
Congratulations.
as well. So, but it is something that was there, and I started this with a passion of expanding knowledge and connecting with everybody out there. When I was learning myself to become, you know, spend more time in self development with myself during pandemic last year, I started doing the talks for knowledge to share with everybody. You know, it's the wealth of knowledge we have. Everybody's trying to do things alone, and nobody's connecting with each other to do things. You know, it'd be great, you know, that we are beings of community. Everybody loves to be together. You can see everybody wants to go for the weekend. Oh, we want to hang out, hang out. But when it comes to our own development or success, we want to do it alone. And this is where the biggest failure is. And the Tuesday
Yeah.
Talks was behind that, you know, to connect with people and share their experiences and knowledge, you know, like why they're still doing it, what they're doing it. And it's been a major success, and that's what keeps me going for Tuesday Talks. There are some times when I'm feeling very tired because I have a long day, and I'm like, oh, Tuesday Talks, I need to do, but I do it. I've never stopped doing Tuesday Talks a single Tuesday. It's been going for a whole year now.
Wow. Zishan, we need to celebrate. Congratulations. This is an achievement. This is something major. And I'm so proud of you for keeping up with yourself, for being accountable for yourself first. Indeed, we need groups, we need other people, we need similar, like minded people to help us grow because, indeed, sometimes, and in school, especially I'm in Romania now, in Eastern Europe, people are taught in school to be individual, to not work too much with other people because when you have a test or a project, God forbid, God forbid you would be influenced by someone else. And it's this culture of fear as well. And I love it that you said that you have this accountability group that can help support people. This is important. We cannot do it on ourselves. And I want to congratulate you one more time for simply saying that you have done this Tuesday talk every single week since a year. You putting up with the work and doing things for yourself first when no one's watching. I think this is the discipline that we all need. Who are you when no one's watching? Maybe some fans of yours may have skipped this. Maybe you were not in the mood of doing a week of Tuesday talks, but you did it for yourself. And I am sticking up to this idea as well. Am I going to do this because other people may have their influence, or is it for me, from my heart? As you said, doing things from your heart and asking yourself the right questions can save your life, right?
Yeah, no, agree, 100%, 100%. And thank you very much. Yeah, it's a celebration. I was just thinking of this as well. So, I mean, your program that you have, and the step on your fears. You want to just take us through that little bit in terms of how does that work? So, what is your method of getting people out of that fear?
Okay, good question. Well, Zishan, I like things very simple and very direct. I work with business people, and most of us business people are not the most patient people to deal with, right?
100%.
I don't know if you agree with this. So I like things very easy with some very simple questions at first. And I deal with fear in three easy ways. It's a matter of changing the perspective first. It's really difficult to do something that you are afraid of all of a sudden. You can't. You can't see it. It's too big. It's all over. Your mind is in the problem and you can't see anything else. Now, changing the perspective is done with some great questions. Like, for example, what is this fear teaching me right now? Maybe I want to change my job, or maybe I want to start my own business, but I'm really scared. I need to ask myself, what is this fear of moving ahead in my professional life actually teaching me? And I encourage people to do journaling a lot. When you have 5 minutes, not more, get your thoughts on a piece of paper. When you get that, when you get your conscious mind kicking in, that's when fear disappears completely. You are free to see things really clear, and I love it how the bigger picture gets very, very amazing and pulling you towards it. Getting rid of fear can create the strong magnet that pulls you towards a greater future. If you don't have anything to look forward to, a really strong, big dream, you're not going to leave your fear behind because you're in the comfort zone. Even though it's painful, as I said earlier, you get used to the pain and that's it. Everything stops there. And the second way that I teach people to deal with their fears is to get their rational mind 100% there, present now. Being present sounds so simple, doesn't it? But it's the most difficult thing ever. I have clients that are taking a whole month with some practices every single day to simply be here now in the present. And it's obviously more than breathing and relaxing and going outside for a walk. It's when you get your mind to leave everything aside, to be the observer, and to decide whether it's going to go on that path of fear, of struggle, or getting into something new, more exciting, something that gets you passionate about life and it gets you very strong attached to your future, to who you really are, because I really believe that who you really are is in a very strong dream in front of us that gets you pulling us towards that thing. Otherwise, let's face it, we are not going to change. I always get my mind hooked with all sorts of things. I like to see things in front of me, like for example, this small visual board. I know that if I see this, it'll be a reminder so that I can be closer and closer and make more steps to get what I want. And the third thing is when you actually do the thing that you are afraid of. That's magical, Zishan. That's something like you never felt before because you go to a whole new level of thinking. You leave behind some old patterns and your self-esteem skyrockets. There's nothing that you can do if you have low self-esteem. It just gets you in a mindset of victim. I always teach my clients to be the victors, to be the ones that take their full responsibility for their emotions, for their lives, for their professional lives, because it's not the boss's fault that your salary is not increasing. It's not your manager's awful managing strategy that keeps you unhappy. It's not that your business partners are cheaters or whatever reason our mind can come up with. It's us taking full responsibility and knowing that once you've made a decision, you are a winner. And as you say, I don't work with anyone. I just need people to be 100% very engaged into their dreams because it will be a waste of time convincing people, right, why they should do something or not. It's not what we do.
I love it. I love it. It's the wonderful. Um, there is a crackling sound coming from your mic. I don't know if you want to restart your headphones or something. Um,
Let's see. Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you, but there was just some crackling noise. Oh, it's gone now. It's gone
Oh,
now.
yeah. Oh, okay, that's great. Let me just, sorry.
Okay.
Let's see, maybe if it's better like this. Is it better? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine, but there was just some crackling sound coming from the background. So I don't know. I think maybe it's the mic there having some crackling noise. But I love what you just shared with me, and it's an amazing journey for the person to go through. And as you just said, that you know that picture that you had on the side, I've got this thing that again I wrote to myself last year this time. I don't know if this is obviously it's backward, which says
Wow,
I
yeah.
am an abundance creator. It's my duty to create super wealth and share the love and knowledge with others. And I also put down for the
Wow.
days where I'm not feeling that great. You got this. So this is right next to my desk where I sit. So this is my workstation. I'm always here. So every time I come, I look at that and I read it. And that pretty much
Wonderful.
tells me, why I'm doing this for. And again, this also shows that my idea behind this is not for myself, it's for others, right? And if I'm helping others, I'm able to help myself. That's how I see it. And I love that you just shared, for you need people who are 100% committed. Yeah, for sure, 100%, because we should not be convincing you to do these things anyway. It's your choice. If you are ready to do this, we are available to help you with it, because we can help you to do this. Otherwise, it's only the person that you always meet at work, or a person that you always meet who's always complaining but never actually does anything about it. So I actually knew a person in my old job that was there for, like, I don't know, I started new, I was 1 year in or something, and that person was there for 12 years. And every
Wow.
day, yeah, every day, you would have thought they must have loved the company and devoted, but no, they didn't love the company, because every year they will have something negative about the company, about the boss, about the previous bosses that have been around. And I was now their boss, so now they're telling me what the old bosses were rubbish. So, so I'm like, okay. So because I'm thinking you must love the company, but then you start hearing what's wrong. They should do this better. They should do that better. And then one day I just asked the question. I'm like, well, opportunities are available to you outside. Have you actually looked? I'm not saying to leave company. I'm not firing you or anything, but the way you keep saying certain things, why do you think you are still at the same position for 12 years and there are new bosses coming around and you're not getting that position, right? And I said to him, do you think I'm going to be here for several years? No, I'm going to be here for 2 years maximum and then move on, because this is just a pit stop for me to move up my career. I don't want to be tied to a company forever. I am just learning everything. Now this is a stop here. I'm going to learn everything from this company that is going to teach me how to do things, and then move on to a different company that will teach me more things, because this company will help me progress into the next level. When I'm ready to level up, I will leave and I'll level up with another company. And that's how I've been working, right? And then he was like gobsmacked. He's like, why do you want to do that? Well, I said, well, look at the difference between us. Since I know you, you're not clearly complaining, but we know that you're not happy, right? And you are still in the same position for the last 12 years. You're not moving forward. People come and go around you. There's people who started after you, same position as you, are promoted within the company. You see them promote, and you're not being promoted. And why is that? Oh, because this is not happening. They're young and they're this and that. Like, no, you got same opportunity. Do you spend any more time learning about what the company is doing? Do you spend more time finding out what this role is? Do you spend more time learning this and that? Which all of us are doing it, right? And that's why they're saying, oh, let's pick this person, let this pick person, because we are showing interest in our growth. And when we're showing interest in our growth, the company is thinking, well, when this person grows, our company will grow. That's how they're thinking. And that's how everybody thinks. If they see you are interested in asking questions and growing yourself with that knowledge, they're going to take you and grow the company with it. Because you have to always remember that the person who you're working for has created the system, and they're always looking for an efficiency way of making the system as better as possible. And if they can find someone within the system who wants to improve it, why not, right? But if you are just there and complaining about the system, there was a question that I got asked last time, and it was, what do you think of the boss who is just the boss and never talks to their employee? Just comes up and says hellos and disappears, and is always talking about numbers and all that stuff. I said, well, for me, there's nothing wrong with that person. He's got his goals, and he's focused on his goals. Then you do have another boss who, comes and mingles with everybody, says hello, takes you out for drinks and sits down with you and all that. Yeah, but that might be that person's goal. He wants to be more friendlier than the company to grow, and the other person wants to grow the company, and you are just part of the system. Nothing wrong. You have a choice. Stay within the system or find the boss that works with you. Nobody is tying you down. And I think that kind of answer took that person by a shock. And he was like, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that answer. I'm like, well, this is the honest truth. Why do you think I work with people as a business and mindset? Is because it's to do with your mindset. Nobody is choosing to put you where you are. It's your decision. And my thing is always, are you ready to take that decision? What you decide today is going to affect you tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 6 months from now, and so forth, right? It might not show up straight away. Like my choose a talk decision, it's not showing up now, but I don't know, in a couple of more years' time, it could be something. I don't know, right? But I am doing it. So it's a decision that I'm taking, and then continue with it. So that's the decision. People don't take that decision. And again, it's a fear of unknown, which is a common fear out there. Why you don't enter into a dark room, because you don't know what's in the dark. And if it's not your room anyway, you'll be like, I don't know what's in that room, right? And it's dark. I can't find the light switch, so you don't enter. But this is where I come back to people and I say, do you now get into the car and not drive because you don't know if you're going to get hit by another car or your car will break down. You don't think of that, do you? You still come out of the house, get in your car, and start driving to go wherever you want to go. And behold, you are at your destination without thinking. It's the same for life. You do need to do certain things with your intuition and gut feeling. It's designed to do certain things for you. Yes, your mind is there and the gut feeling is there to protect you from the time when we were hunters and gatherers, because there'll be something behind the bush that will just come out and eat you. But times have changed. There's nothing like that anymore, and we need to adapt. But we're not training our mind. You'll train your body. You'll try to do your diets. You try to do everything, but do nothing for your mind. And what do you expect your life is going to be like? And that's my point every time when I'm speaking to everybody. And once I see that they understand that, those are my clients then.
Wonderful. Indeed, you cannot live a life in fear because, let's face it, an asteroid could come and hit a part of the world, but you cannot live with this so-called fear. And I love it that you said that it's important to decide to take things into your own hands and do what's best for you. Indeed, a lot of people are still in the victim mentality because I actually associate victim mentality equals comfort zone. And comfort zone is so nice and very, very warm, but nothing happens there. We actually die bit by bit. And dying may sound a bit too extreme, but it's what happens to your dreams, to your vision, to your entire perspective of the future. I liked what you said at the beginning, that we all have dreams and we all have aspirations and we can truly change the world, but not if we stay in this pesky fear. And I also want to encourage people to be patient with themselves. A lot of our clients, indeed, they may want to do all sorts of major things with their professional lives. But if they try something and it doesn't work at first, they most of the times just abandon it. You need to be very consistent. As our mind is fearful by default, it creates fear in a matter of seconds. You need to be able to give it time to adjust to the new mindset. So being compassionate and being patient and being kind to ourselves, because most of the times we are such harsh critics for ourselves. We need to treat ourselves as like the best friends, the strongest allies, and sometimes we talk to ourselves in such a way that we wouldn't talk to a stranger. Not to mention, we wouldn't talk to a friend like this. And having the compassion to see that you make small progress. Even if you fail, you learn, you do something different, but it's progress, right? It's not staying in the same old place as your colleague who still may be in that company even after
I
even
think
after
so.
12 years. Yeah. Well, I hope, and actually I don't hope, I'm pretty sure that you have managed to make a shift in his mindset, as I see you have in your description, in your bio here on Instagram. And maybe he's now doing something completely different, something that makes him happy.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think that?
I am sure as well. I'm sure. I'm sure he's doing that. Yeah. Also, I mean, in terms of when you're doing all this, because you also obviously, I'm sure pre-pandemic you were doing speaking. So did you do events as well where you would go and speak? And now you have a 1-year-old baby as well. So how are you? There's a question now. How are you managing your time with all this things that you have to do?
Well, that's a good question. And since my baby girl is not easygoing, I'm not the most patient person, but she's teaching me resilience, and I actually organize my time by the minute, by the second. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do live sessions on YouTube every single day, to talk to people, to have clients, to work on my courses, which, by the way, yesterday I just launched my first course as an NLP trainer, and I'm so excited. We're in this celebrating mood around the house.
Congratulations. Yeah, celebrations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have worked so much to have it done, and I have decided to have it as a free resource. So anyone can check it out on YouTube. It's called Master Your Focus in Business. It's a resource that I wish I had when I started. So it's actually keeping my schedule very, very tight. I do podcast interviews, I need to prepare text, I create content for social media, and the secret, which is not a secret, is to be extremely committed to myself. I am asking this several times a day to myself, when I'm alone especially. Who am I when no one's watching? I'm not skipping any of the steps that I have created for myself, because otherwise I would be fooling myself. And I know that I need a very strong self-esteem to accomplish the huge objectives that I have for my future. And it's actually what gets me moving, being both an example for my daughter, but the most important is achieving my huge goals. That is pulling me towards the best life that I can create for myself, because I've complied to raise my standards every day. What is it that motivates you, Dishan? What gets you going very, very strong?
Ah, good question. First of all, I want to obviously congratulate and celebrate your launch of the program. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
yeah, well done. It's so for me, it's similar to what you are saying as well. I mean, uh, obviously, apart from that wonderful note that I shared, there are certain things that at the end of the day, it's me I am showing up for, right? So, and if I'm not doing certain things, it's me I am lying to, and it's me I am letting myself down. Nobody else cares about these things anyway. We always think of, oh, what shirt to wear, what to do these things when we're going out. Maybe they will look at you for just 5 seconds and 2 minutes, whatnot, and after that they don't care, right? So all that stuff that we do for society outside, that actually don't really matter. It's what we hold ourselves responsible for, and that what drives me in terms of decision making as well. So I try to keep things as simple as possible. So my biggest ethos is to keep things simple as possible. Try not to complicate it a lot at all. So I break it down. I break everything down, whether that's adversity or even happiness. I'll just break it down straight away. So sometimes my daughter says to me as well, "Oh, you're so bland. You turn everything into some sort of coaching thing." And I'm like, "No, no, no. It's my habit, because I've built that habit now, that even though you're doing something, I'll say, there is this to this as well. Did you know that?" And then they're like, "What? Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Okay, I have to now do it in my head." So that what drives me is because I've made myself aware of myself, right? And I've made myself aware of all these opportunities which are available to me from the universe or God, whoever you believe in, is there in front of you, right? You've been put on this earth. You've been given the
Yeah.
resources as well. So it's all there for you. We just lose sight of it because we get trapped in a cycle. And so I've made myself aware of things that come along. So somebody might say something, and I won't say it straight away, but that will make me think later that that conversation must be that this was actually great. Let me Google this. Let me see this. There is that. And so there, I'm always open to anybody who wants to speak to me about opportunities, about anything that they have to speak to me about, because I'm always open to things coming to my way as well, because I am willing to give, right? And so I'm open to people to give back as well. And this is where a lot of people, you know, I don't like the word struggle a lot, because there's no struggles in real life. There is no struggle. There are always just challenges. And the reason there's always challenges is because if it was easy, it wouldn't be you won't be living, fulfilling your purpose of life, or anything like that. And that what drives me more, is that anything that happens, I just see it as challenge. That means I'm ready for leveling up soon. That means, right? If something stops me, that okay, it's time to level up. That means, right? This what I've been doing has got me so far, and now we're ready to level up. If I pass this, I will have new wisdom. Plus, I'll be in a different game now. Because I used to love playing games. I do very less now, so I use gaming as well as an example. So when people are playing game, to now you to level up to a second stage or further down in the levels, you always come across a difficult task, which is a challenge that you need to overcome, and that's what the life is. And as you keep saying, you know, as you put, a lot of people become the victim of like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, this is too tough. And and they go back to their lovely comfort blanket, you know, put themselves in it, have a nice warmth, and then they say, yeah, this is it. But then they keep just saying, you know, what if I had passed this? What if I had done that? Well, you had that choice. You just didn't. You took the decision to grab the blanket, you know, and sit on the sofa.
Wow, yeah. Wow, Dishan, you know, I love it that you said this. This was actually what I was thinking about. Regret is so much more painful than fear. When you get this thought, oh my God, what if I should have done things in a different way? What if I should have done that? That is so much painful, and I've had this experience over and over. I think that you also experienced this, and that's why I want to encourage everyone to actually do the thing that you are afraid of. Keep learning along the way. Enjoy the road to your personal development and enlightenment, or whatever path that our clients and friends and listeners want to take on, because when you get regret kicking in, it's when your mind shuts down. With fear, it's blocked, but you can still kind of see the light. You're in a foggy situation, but it's bearable. You are still looking for ways to maybe kind of either go around it or go through it, but regret is the awful part of life when you simply cannot turn back time. Maybe some opportunities don't happen. They only happen once, and that's it. So we need to keep our eyes open and be present as much as possible and enjoy this amazing journey that life is offering us. There's nothing more beautiful than a free soul. Another reason why I chose this fear-free mindset to work with. When you're free, you are completely limitless.
I agree 100%, and I love it. The free soul part is amazing. You know, and this is one of the greatest feeling that you get, and I mean 100% say, um, when I took those steps, you know, a lot of people were scared for me, even though there was, you know, firing my boss, and a lot of people were like,
Yeah.
"Are you sure?" You know, there are people getting fired left, right, and center, and you are firing your boss. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for it. You know, but they don't know what I know, right? So it's that thing as well. So then, because I was already ready to not regret the things that I would have done, you know, one day, because I always say, picture yourself on your deathbed, you know, it's your last few days, you're in your deathbed. What would you be thinking that time? Think of it now. What would you be thinking that time, right? Now you're in your deathbed, your family is around you, your loved ones are around you. What are you thinking of that time? Do you have any regrets, which we now are talking about? So do you think that, oh, if I did that, you know, you have the chance still to do all that stuff. you are stopping yourself by utilizing things which are not there. And they're only there because you are giving them the importance to be there, right? So the fear is actually not there. It appears, but you have the ability to subside it and go, right,
Yes.
okay, I will do it, right? And or you have the ability to use it and give you fuel to do it what you want to do, right? Because you can use that. So you have the ability, instead of, so that decision is yours to make. Nobody can help you with that decision, because they can be banging drums in front of you. You can still not make that decision. Because I've not gone to bungee jumping, but that's one of the things I want to do, and skydiving as well. So I like
Wonderful.
skydiving and bungee jumping. So I YouTube these things, right? I see YouTube for bungee jumping, and there are lots of people who are tied up to the harness and everything, and they're there for literally 3-4 minutes, not jumping off, right? And then the person has to, like, there are other people who want to go, so you now have to come off, right? Because you're slowing everybody down. So that is now the person's choice, not believing in themselves, because they're now right close to the end of that decision. All they have to do is take that jump and believe in themselves, and the rope that is holding them, right, is there.
Yeah.
You need to believe in that and then take that jump and do it. And that's the only thing. The fear is coming is because you are asking those questions, and you are, I'll say, you are watering that garden in your mind, saying, so where the weeds are growing, right? So all these questions are just weeds, random stuff coming around, asking you random questions which that do not need to be there. If you just pick them out and then start watering with nice flowers and everything, and you have the right set of mind there already. It's a state that I always say is, if you are living life always happy, you will never come across something which is negative in your life. And the reason is because you're always going to see a positive side of all the things which even they go wrong. Because the positive side from the things that go wrong is that you've had a lesson that you've just learned. It's something you did not know before, now you know. Or I always say, let's say if small accidents happen to me, I always say, it's great that this happened now, because it stopped me from having something major in the future, right? So if I lost some money, I had to pay for a car now that somebody hit me, and all that stuff. If I had an accident in the car, which has happened a few times, I always say, thank God that has happened now. No one, it's probably just avoided a bigger thing. I could have been on the plane,
Yeah.
right? I was like, oh, it's
Wow.
gone now. So it's not going to happen anymore, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm accepting that thing that just happened, which is like, okay, yeah, it's going to cost me to fix the car, or it's going to cost me to do something, whatever that is. There's always a cost involved, which is your emotions or money or whatever that is. It's an energy, and you giving the energy of what you want. So I always turn it to a positive energy, and that's what I always ask everybody. If you're able to turn that around and say, oh, great, that's happened to me now I've avoided something major that was going to happen, right? And then your mind will already straight away disregard everything that's just gone wrong, because you're already thinking, oh, okay, it's fixed.
Wonderful. Wow, this is very inspirational. I have to have some, I need to put this on a note somewhere because I love it. Yeah, see it as it is. Don't see it worse than it is. Get the lesson from it. And you know what? I think I'm going to be doing bungee jumping as well.
Yes, why
I
not? Why
actually
not?
had this in mind. Oh my God, yes. I don't think you can do this in Romania. But as soon as we can travel again, it's actually, I see also sports as breaking through your limits. It gets your mindset stronger. So, yeah, make sure you put some videos and some pictures when you do bungee jumping to inspire us.
Definitely, definitely.
For
I'm not too
sure.
sure. I'm not too sure when that will happen, but it will happen once the world is open to fully travel. But yeah, it's in the one of the things, like skydiving and bungee jumping would be the
Wonderful.
two first things that I want to do when I want to become, face my fears, for example. Because if you've done those things, you can pretty much do anything, right? Because you've trusted the rope. You trusted the rope to help you pull back up. And also when you're doing the skydiving, you trusted the parachute who is tied behind another person who's behind you, right? So
Yeah.
because the person tied behind you is only as good as his parachute, right? Right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so exactly. So you've trusted that thing. So if you can do those things, you can pretty much take on the world, and nothing should be, nothing should be stopping you after that.
Oh, for sure. I am going to do this as well. This is a commitment live to you as well, for sure.
Amazing, amazing.
Great
We both have to
mindset.
share pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely, definitely.
Amazing. So this has been an interesting Tuesday talks, and lots of golden nuggets have been shared for viewers who are watching this live and watching this on replay or listening to us later. What I would suggest to everybody who is tuning in or has reached to the end so far, congratulations, guys! You have learned quite a lot. And what I would suggest as well is that it's our duty now to share this with a person on or your page, because you don't know. We assume that we know everybody, but we don't know who woke up this morning thinking, if there was a better way for me to do something, whatever that is, whatever they're stuck in. And this video might just inspire something or trigger a question that will trigger an inspiration and start something new for them. And you're the person who just done it, right? Not all heroes wear cape. So we are all heroes without the capes.
Yeah.
We are all doing our part in the universe. So I urge everybody to share this with anybody they can think of, or they think they should watch. Just share it. If you found it inspirational, it's your duty to share it, because nobody should keep inspirations with themselves. They should inspire others as well. Before we go, I would love you to share few words of inspiration that you should that people should follow, or that your journey has taught you and keeps you going.
Thank you, Zishan. This has been really inspirational, and I want to share with our audience something very quick, easy, and direct, as it's my style. Question everything, especially your own thoughts. Even if you have them in your mind, it doesn't mean that they're yours or that they define you. Learn to put everything that you hear, every single thought, under the question mark. And ask yourself, is this really true? Do I know for sure that things are like this? If this is true, how can I make things better? How can I focus on solutions? The magic question is why and how as well. I want our audience to know that it's completely up to us to decide whether we continue with a thought or not, because it's vital that we get to be our rational minds completely, especially when it comes to taking decisions, because progress can be done with a clear mind. Get away from all the thoughts that are not supportive and feed yourself with the ones that are truly helping you move ahead, but not just move ahead, move full speed ahead. We think we have time, but we don't. And it's not a matter if you're 60, if you're 20, if you're 80. Time is playing a lot with our minds, and we sometimes get stuck in a fear or in a blockage or in a thought that is unsupportive. And 10 weeks have just gone by, 10 months that transform into 10 years, and you don't have the notion of it all anymore. So question everything.
Amazing. I love this. I love this. This is the best thing. The people should be following this. So your Instagram handle, social handles are all the same. So is it
Yes.
at Roxana Popet?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
So yeah, guys, if you are listening and watching this now, follow Roxana Popet for all these wonderful learnings and NLP trainings as well. On all the social media handles that you are able to find, especially YouTube and Instagram. And thank you very much, Roxana, for your time today
Thank you.
and sharing your wisdom and all these wonderful things. And everybody else, thank you very much for being here. And we will see you all on next episode of the Tuesday Talks with another wonderful, inspirational soul. And would like to say thank you very much and bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you so much, Zishan. It's been an honor. Have a great day ahead. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.